I'm completely blown away. You guys have surpassed my expectations, and I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for checking out my last video, and the reception from it was unexpected. I wanted to make these videos because I love this project so much. When it comes to Veve and Ecomi and the team and the community behind it, I've just enjoyed every part of it, and it's amazing to see the amount of people going out of their way to share my video. I just wanted to give a special shout out to two people that I do follow in the community fairly closely, and they ended up giving me a retweet as well. So first one is Cavell Anderson. He is the biggest, I would say, Ecomi Veve channel out there. So if you guys get a chance, definitely check him out. And Wendy Stabalis, who also works very closely with the team and has done hosted multiple AMAs, interviewed some amazing people. So definitely check them both out. I'll have their YouTube channels in the description below. Definitely check them out, and I really appreciate it, guys. Hopefully we get to collaborate one day. And yeah, let's hop into today's topic. When I was a kid, I loved to collect. So I collected a lot of things, ranging from bugs to rocks to toys to Pokemon cards to comic books, all kinds of things. And I really enjoyed it. It was the sense of ownership, the sense of having something that was tangible that I could go and look at. Even though it didn't do anything, it allowed me to collect. And it's very interesting to see how things have shifted. I'm still a collector. I still love things in real life. I like to be able to hold on to things and have it displayed in my room, whether it be in a frame or on a shelf. But when it comes to Veve, it's a whole different type of collecting. At the beginning of this year, I discovered the Veve app. It was a little bit of a turning point for me in the sense that it took a little bit of convincing because it was something that I could get on my phone. And so if I had it on my phone, I was able to view it, I was able to see it at all times, but something about it being digital just didn't sit well with me. Fast forward a couple months, and I can't stop collecting on the app. It's become a little bit of an addiction. If you have an addictive personality, be forewarned that Veve is definitely not the solution to cure any kind of addiction. It's going to get you more addicted. And today I just want to compare what collecting something physical like Pokemon cards and collecting something digital feels like with that transition. So we live in a world where everyone in the world is on their phone most of the time. I'm sure most of us can agree that when it comes to conversations at dinner or conversations with friends and family, there is a phone involved most of the time. Your phone is something you check at all times, and it's designed by nature for you to be able to look at and see at all times. You get notifications in certain ways. It buzzes in your pocket, and you have the urge to check. And I mean, I'm not going to dive into the pros and cons of that because I think that's a whole nother video subject. But for right now, the collectible aspect of having all your collectibles in your pocket is absolutely amazing in my opinion. So looking at it from that perspective, kids nowadays, if you were to give a kid a toy for Christmas, a kid would rather have a gift card for Fortnite to get a skin or to get some kind of avatar or iTunes gift card to be able to buy gems or whatever type of in-game currency they need for their iPhone. Whereas if a kid were to get a toy nowadays, it feels a little bit less interactive. So the kid isn't able to take that toy and go and do anything else with it besides look at it, right? And kids being kids have shorter attention spans. So with video games, I see the future of everything going digital, and enter Veve and NFTs. For me, looking into Veve as a project and the team behind it, so the team consists of David Yu, Dan Crothers, you have Reese, you have Alfred Kahn, you have Trevor, and you have Noah, you have Alex. There's some great people in the community. And the way that they've been able to capitalize and share this IP out with everyone is the use of Twitter and the use of AMAs and the engagement with the community. And I think that's amazing. I think it's one thing to have a collection, but it's another thing to be able to share that collection with the people around you. And what easier way to do that than in the digital world, as opposed to something you have and own in real life that essentially sits on your wall or your shelf that maybe a finite amount of people will be able to see. Whereas if you were to take an AR picture with something, you're able to post that onto social media, get thousands and thousands and thousands of people to see it and to share in the same interest that you have as well. And I think that's why digital collectibles will be so much more sought after than physical collectibles in the future. I would compare this to having a skin in Fortnite where you pay for a skin that gives you no physical upgrades when it comes to the video game, but to someone else that looks at that and says, wow, you have a skin that was only available in 2019. It's 2021. I just started this game. How much do you want for it? We live in a digital world where people want to get noticed online. And whether that means a blue check mark on Twitter or a YouTube partnership to be able to get your video to have more views, that's just the world we live in. So having a verified Twitter account is the equivalent of having something super, super rare. It gives you legitimacy and it gives you that authentication that you are a person of importance. It gives you that ability where your information that you share may be a little bit more credible than the next person. Today, I want to share with you guys a little bit about Pokemon cards and my understanding of collectibles and how you can keep your eye out on the Veve app, whether it is on a drop day or in the marketplace, to be able to buy the right things for your future collection. So let's start off right here. So with Pokemon cards, the way that I collect them now, which I didn't do as a kid, is I took Pokemon cards, and a lot of us did, put them in rubber bands and stuck them into our jean pockets. And that's a big no-no nowadays because you're going to be damaging those cards, and the better condition a card is in, the more it's going to be worth. So looking at a card like this right here, so this is a shiny Charizard. So everyone knows Charizard as being orange. This is a shiny Charizard from a set called Hidden Fates. It was a very sought-after holiday set in 2019, and this card is in this plastic shell that I cannot open without damaging the case. This card here is one of 681 cards in the world that have been graded a pristine BGS 10. Oh, waiting for it to focus. So that's a BGS 10. So as you guys can see here, the grading pattern right there shows like what the corners are like. So they look at all the little things on the back here, like if there's a little bit of a whitening in the corner, if the edges are scraped, how the centering of the card was done at the factory. And this card here gains value from being graded a pristine 10. So from that standpoint, the rarity that you look at with digital collectibles, they don't degrade over time. So if you look at a comic book inside the Veve app, or you look at a collectible, there really isn't anything differentiating them. But that's where mint numbers come in. So you're looking at a mint number of a collectible. People will collect mint numbers that have significant meaning to them. So let's say, for example, you have a Walt Disney statue with Mickey and Walt Disney. That's a statue that most recently came out, and it has become one of the holy grails of the app. That one has 4,333 of them in the entire world. It is the first appearance of Mickey and Walt Disney. And so that brings a lot more significance to that piece as a whole. People then have to look and see if you have a lower mint number, which is, so the first one, the Veve team actually keeps 40 of the first one, and then the ones after that, it'll start at 41. So 41 would be the lowest mint number you can get for this one-off character. I recently saw a number 58 sell for $35,000 in the app. So it just goes to show that high-end collectors are looking for mint numbers that are a lot lower. They're looking for that scarcity piece, and they're looking for something that is sought after by a lot of people. Just because something has a small mint, which there are some items on this app that are 500 mints, or there's 250 or 150. It doesn't always mean that it's going to drive the value to that particular collectible, because you also have to have that demand. You have huge demand and a very low supply. That's a very good combination for a collectible that a lot of people want. Take, for example, the Todd McFarlane Batman. This was the first ever Veve collectible released on the app. This collectible itself has 7,500 mint. So from a lot of people's perspective, when it first came out on the app, it actually sat on the app for the retail price of $89.99. And not a lot of people wanted it until a lot of people started buying it up, and then it was sold out. Because you look at it now, it was the first ever released NFT on the Veve platform. And it was by a famous artist named Todd McFarlane. It was a first appearance of Batman, and that plays an important role as well. Bringing it back and corresponding that with Pokemon as well, if you look at Pokemon, the most valuable cards are from the first edition booster box. So if you look at anything first edition, people always look for the first appearance of something, the first edition of something. Just this year, a lot of people got back into collecting Pokemon cards. You have people like Logan Paul and a lot of celebrities that now have money, that money they didn't have when they were a kid. And you have a PSA 10 Charizard. There's only 128 of them in the world, I believe, at a PSA 10, and that sold for the price of a house at $600,000 to $700,000. That's an example of the demand outweighing the supply. If you look back into the Veve app, I would bet money on the fact that a lot of the first appearances from season 1 will go up in price. If you think about it this way, there are a lot of collectibles that exceed 4,000, 5,000 collectibles, and although that might seem like a lot right now, even though it's not because we have about 1.2 million active users on the app, just keep in mind that this app is at its infancy. At 1 year in, this app has already grown, I would say, semi-mass adoption in the sense of Disney and Marvel and all these big brands. What's going to happen in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years when we get 10, 20, 30 million users coming into the app? Everyone is going to look back into season 1 and look at these collectibles. Let's say someone is a huge Batman fan and they have a ton of money. They're going to go in and they're going to buy all of the Todd McFarlane first ever appearance of Batman. I think that the first appearance is going to be key when it comes to the collectibles in the digital world, as there's no degrading of any kind of collectible. So there's going to be a metaverse that is created by Veve. In the Veveverse, you're going to be able to burn off your NFTs. And what does that mean? So we have 7,500 Todd McFarlanes. Let's say, for example, you own 100 of those. You take 500 of them and you burn them. So burning them would mean taking them out of that full 7,500. Now, Todd McFarlane is worth more because there are less of them. And now the 50 that you hold are going to be worth a lot more. So something to keep in mind is that these are features that are getting implemented into the digital collectible realm. And eventually, collectibles will be so scarce that you won't be able to get your hands on some in the secondary market, at least some of the older ones. We're already seeing a mad dash when it comes to people trying to secure drops on drop day, with collectibles upwards of 100,000 selling out at under 1 second. I believe that, again, this app is gonna go crazy once we hit that mass adoption. Some catalysts that haven't even happened yet are things like multiple languages. We have currently Telegram and Discord groups that are translating for people in Spanish, in Punjabi, and other languages too. So once the app has other languages built into it, just imagine the amount of people that will be coming into the app and looking for these collectibles that didn't use this app because it wasn't in their native language. In conclusion, guys, as a Pokemon collector, I just see the trends and everything that correlates with my world of Pokemon collecting coming into the digital world as well, and we're still at the infancy stage of everything happening right now. So if you get a chance, again, not financial advice, definitely download the Veve app, take a look around, get familiar with some of the prices, and some of the things, again, just to reiterate, that are important to look for are first appearance, real world significance. So if you were looking at a comic book, for example, Marvel #1 from 1939 has only 12 physical copies that are known to man to survive on this planet. The first ever Marvel comic book. And in the digital world, if you have a secret rare, that one has 500 copies. So looking at the correlation there, that's a no-brainer for a collector. So again, looking at real-world significance, correlating that with the collectible, looking at first appearance, looking at how popular this character is, with Spider-Man, for example, being one of the most rare collectibles out there, because Spider-Man is the most well-known superhero in the entire world by far. It's not even close. And then you also have to look at the mint number. So these, if you take into account all 4 of these things, I believe that you can be a successful collector on the Veve app, and that your collection one day may be worth something. For me, I do it for a little bit of the money, but as a collector in real life, I actually really enjoy this app for collecting itself, and I plan on keeping my collection for the long term. And I want to minimize my selling as much as possible. I may liquidate things here and there in order to participate in drops, but at the end of the day, I am first and foremost a collector. Thank you so much for watching my video, guys. As my channel grows and more people start to watch my videos, please leave a suggestion down below on what you want to see, and I'd love to make content for you guys. And thank you so much, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.